Welcome everyone to another episode of Ingredients for a Better Life. I'm joined by my friend, colleague, and founder, chief medical scientist of Stop and Regrow, Dr. Robert Nettles. Doctor, how are you today? Good to see you, my friend.
Well, great to see you today, Jay. Better than yesterday. I hear tomorrow better than today, so we're sticking around.
That's it. And thriving as well, and getting haircuts in between. So, Doctor, I want to jump right in, and for we're going to call this episode client expectations, okay? Whereas some people come in, thinking they don't have to do too much, but to, take a topical on their head and take a capsule, and then shazam, everything's solved. But that's not the case. There is some work to be done. And, it's a lot of little things like taking your supplement, if it's needed at the same time every day, making sure that you are doing the diet and doing that meal prep once per week. But a lot of people, will, and I'm sure you can testify to this as well, will come in. It's like when they join a gym membership in January. It's like they join the membership, great, they're going to really do it this time. But if you just come in, take the capsule, do the topical, and you just continue with your convenience food diet and that modern this modern caveman lifestyle, it's just not going to work. So I wanted to have you chime in as to, what is expected from the client on the Stop and Regrow program.
Wow. Okay, Jay, that's quite a can of worms to go through here and unpack. But you mentioned that the program's not as easy as slapping on a topical and taking this daily capsule. And actually, over the course of the last 18 years or so, the data came back and said, yeah, Jay, it's actually that simple. You can just slap this stuff on there and not even do it every day, Jay. I'm telling you,
Yep.
I believe
Well,
believe you me, I wanted it to be, they had to be more consistent, Jay, but the results are coming back that people that are even the halfway marks, the 70 percenters, Jay, the 4 times a week putting the stuff on, maybe missing a capsule once a week. So it is still working. But is that the clientele that you and I want to associate ourselves with while we're down here working? And the answer is absolutely not. So the company is focused on taking care of those individuals who take care of themselves and are serious about it. Who are those people? They're the optimal types of individuals. Those are the managers in the companies. Those are the executives. Those are the ones that start their own companies. They start
yep.
their own band, but they're the ones taking care of others. And that's the type of person that we have in the office today. But even the ones that don't do everything right, Jay, I don't know if it's unfortunate or fortunate, the hair is actually growing very well. Are they missing out on the other optimal health features and benefits? The answer is absolutely yes,
Well,
because the technology that goes into everything is actually what is before the capsules and the topical are made. Once that stuff is made, derived from their nutritional and genetic biomarkers, it is almost as easy as slapping that stuff on there. But you're going to miss out, as you alluded to, the benefits of how to turn that just a ship into a rocket ship. And that's where you focus on the right types of fats, getting the proteins in at the right time. And you mentioned it, taking the capsule at the same time. If there's a 24-hour half-life, every 24 hours is the optimal time for use of stuff. So we have, I would say, 50 to 60% of the individuals on the program that are like that. And then there's the others that are the ones falling behind. And you're right, the optimal health candidates are doing better and faster. But all of them are getting to the finish line. What's that old saying about the turtle and the hare?
yeah.
We all get there.
The, so there is a lot of support and guidance along the way. So there is a lot of nutrition support. There's a lot of guidance. But another thing for people to realize as well is, they do need to attend those check-in appointments. They do need to, be prudent as to show up for these check-in appointments and to do the work, as not just doing the physical work of shopping and preparing the food once a week and portioning it, weighing it out, but they need to show up for their check-in appointments, and that is sometimes not as easy as it sounds.
You hit the nail right on the head, and it probably goes back to that 50 to 60% of the optimal people, because you're right. Some people, they neglect taking care of their health, and they fall in that bottom 30% of that quartile where they're just not optimally health wired, and they're not seeking it. But for the ones that are, you could not get a better value for your dollar or penny. I guess I'd say 65 cents a day, and you get the, as you mentioned, a nutrition success coach, someone that's
Yep.
going to go through what you eat, how your body absorbs each macronutrient, and then you're going to learn from the team how to take care of this rocket ship. So you could never put a price on that. And then annually, we interpret the development of someone's biochemistry over time, adjust their supplements and their dietary recommendations based on this footprint. So you could never put a price on that, but that would be $250 for just the reading itself. So that falls into this, what has been termed an optimal health annuity or an optimal health membership. And I don't know of any other group down here that has an optimal health anything. So this is the first of its kind where an individual is seeking optimal health, and it's based on individual blood work, your biochemistry. So no one's ever done this. So for those out there that are seeking the tip top of advanced health care, you're the first to call. Your friends and your cousins and are probably already here. Those are the top achievers.
Yep. So just to clarify as well, so we wanted people to do labs after the first year and then every year after that on average. I mean, more is better, but if we have to blanket statement it and say on average, we want to do labs once per year at the minimum. So,
You're absolutely right, Jay. For someone not wanting to take their car, their biggest investment is your body, but not wanting to take your car, your robot, your rocket ship, your body to get some blood work, especially now that we can explain to you for the first time what the blood work means. We're not going to tell you they're within ranges. That's what the blood work shows us, that it's within a range, or the blood work shows us it's without ranges. But the blood work cannot tell us what an optimal range for each molecule should be. And it definitely could not interpret what the ratio of two numbers compared to, contrasted to another number should be in an algorithm. So that's where you start to understand this is an equation, right? It's not a Rubik's Cube, but it is an equation. So
yep.
without inputting the correct formula, you could never do it. Have we derived the perfect, precise formula over the course of 18 years? And the answer is yes. Does any other office, any other physician, any other medical clinic on earth have this data set to derive such a formula? The answer is no.
And
That's the only difference today.
so another expectation is, let's say, all right, a year, every year we redo labs at a minimum. So every 6 months we look at the photos, the baseline photos. Every 6 months we retake photos to see, the true. Oftentimes, too, for people over that are at a distance over Zoom and these virtual appointments, they're taking the pictures themselves. So, there is no, Photoshop, or there's no they're in custody of their own, their own how will say their own potential and their own success. So it's not like you're putting up all these things on the internet that, are biased from Stop and Regrow. These are photos coming from the individual. What would you say? 50% of them are over from a distance type. That like this environment, you're not seeing them physically. So I just wanted to put it out there. Every year we check the labs. Every 6 months we do the photo. So those are expectations that people need to follow through with, because it sounds super easy, but until you get into it, life gets in the way. Your job, someone just isn't there anymore. Now you have to step up. Now you're getting promoted. Now you just don't have the life gets in the way, we'll say, right? So these are the things that we're trying to watch out for, especially when, the world wants to throw us a curveball with whatever's going on, when there's times of war and things like that. So we want to just point out and to tell people that the clients on Stop and Regrow, you and me and our brothers and sisters that are on the program, are going to be less susceptible to those environmental, things that people say, oh, well, these vaccinations and all this stuff. It's like, you know what, your best chances for preventing things is a strong immunity, and that's through the Nile River via the biochemical report card and protein. And that is going to be your best chance for survival in a new world. So this is what I stress is to, go to stopandregrow.com, get the biochemical report card, be honest with it, follow through, do the work. Every 6 months, we retake the photographs. Beyond that, every year or more, I would say more, more. So a lot of people say less is more. I say no, more is more. So if you can take the blood work every 6 months, why wouldn't you? I mean, if you look at the most valuable thing that you have, or any, like for me, I have a marine engine, a boat engine, and man, I don't wait 1 year to take that thing in for maintenance. I take it in whenever I can because I want it to be the best, performing thing. And it's also it's my safety, it's my personal safety. So your biochemical report card is the individual's safety in this new world environment, which is oftentimes unpredictable and quite scary. So forget about all of those, vitamin C. I mean, with vitamin C is great, but we'll get that in our food. We'll talk, and for people that need help, we're available to go deeper with them if they just say, "Hey, I don't get it. I can't. I need some help with this." We'll help them out with that as well. So those were the big things I wanted to stress on. Were the the expectations from the client after they leave with their prescription and the topical is that's the easy part. Now it's time to get to work. And if you want to beat those numbers next time, because they're all numbers, right, Doc? When you look at that report card, this is not, you know, this is not a, this is very black and white. This is not a subjective type thing, So, um,
You mentioned it, Jay, report card, and that's what the callers and listeners need to really consider. Is we all had report cards in grade school, even in high school. Many of us went to college. Some of us kept going to the graduate programs, and some even stayed to get doctorate programs. So we all got report cards on over a period of time that would reflect upon how well we were doing. That's what the biochemical report card is, an assessment of how the body is performing at that particular time. And those 9 biomarkers are repeated, and they're more of the guidelines that kind of hold us in check, the checks and balances. But as you alluded to, for the patients, we rely on their ethics to take good evidence in their photographs so that we can have them earn the trust that what they're doing is paying off. But we assist the patients by giving them for the first time the steering wheel, right?
yep,
Because we've always had the ship. We didn't have the steering wheel. For the
yep.
first time, we connect the steering wheel. Does that mean everyone's going to drive that car or truck or ship the way they should? No way. But for the first time, you'll have the ability to take control. And for those that do take that opportunity, it jetpacks their life. And that's the goal. If you don't get here plus get a rocket ship, you're not going to stay on a program with us.
Well, I mean, if you look at the two words report card, I mean, what comes to mind when you hear report card is, school and college, and most times you had to bust your ass to get that good grade. I graduated college with honors. I'm sure you did pretty well, as far as grade point average yourself, and I liked that it was kind of a game for me. Um, so I don't understand why people wouldn't, you know, put the effort in, but it happens. It's a thing. People aren't showing up for their check-in appointments. People aren't doing the diet, and then worse off, they're not even doing the intermediate blood work to check to see how good or bad they're what they are and what they're not doing. So they say often, Doc, that the easiest things are often the most difficult to execute. So
Well,
It's very
Chef Jay is not only a nutritionist, supervisor, someone that does with a wealth of knowledge, but also a chef and a musician and an honor student. So not everyone has Jay's aptitude and applies it to life. And those are the people that we help as well. But you're right. For the ones like you, Jay, they really earn an opportunity to take control of that rocket ship, and their life takes off. That's for sure.
I'm going to say one last thing here, Doctor, because it's Friday and I like to keep it fun on Fridays. Okay. Everyone's looking forward to the weekend. And I saw something recently. I was watching a comedy, stand-up comic, Jim Jeffries, Australian comic. And he said this thing. He says, look, I have to take this pill, not your pill, mind you. He said, I have to take a pill once a day or my hair will fall out, period. And I thought, one, it's just, I thought it was pretty irresponsible for someone in the public to say something like that, blanket statements, without saying anything or coming out saying, hey, well, I'm on finasteride and, this, but that's not what happens from a medical standpoint. Even if, say, someone is on finasteride, okay, they're on finasteride, whatever. They're on a topical that is something not yours. But that is not what happens is, when you stop taking whatever capsule, whatever supplement, that is not what's causing your hair loss. It is from, it's beyond that. It's a biochemistry we work hard to get, that you're talking about a biochemistry getting back out of alignment. So, or, something. So I just thought that was a terrible thing. And especially someone being in the public eye, they should be more careful with what they say, because people could watch that and say, hey, I'm going to go and take this finasteride or whatever. And if you're not getting, this is another thing I want to say, and I'll close it out, is if you're not getting labs done before you get prescribed something, you better be real wary about that, because in order for anything to make a change in your body, there needs to be an FDA prescription label on it. And if it doesn't have a prescription, guess what? Probably not going to do a lot of good for you. So that's all I wanted to say, because someone has to speak up against these people to say, hey, what, don't put that stuff out there without coming out afterwards and owning that statement, and having some kid in Iowa say, well, he's on finasteride, so I'm going to do it too. Like, that's not cool. If you're not getting your labs done, then that's a negligence on whoever's prescribing that medication, in my opinion.
And yeah, that's quite a take on that, Jay. And what I would state, I would follow the hairline of that person. There is no
It's not
capsule
that
that
great.
stops hair loss. There is
It's
no
not that great a
capsule that stops
hairline,
hair loss.
actually. It's
So,
too late.
or and the top is it. So to make that statement coming from someone without hair loss, you've got to check the source of whomever says something, and then how do you value that source? So that's one person in the public eye making a statement, but does it come from a source of knowledge? And then look at the person's hair. If they've got hair problems, obviously the statement was false and there was no real knowledge there. So there is no capsule that will stop hair loss. There is no topical that will grow your hair. Those things do not exist on Earth and never will exist while I'm alive. That's for sure, for the next 50 or so years. But there must be a biochemical rebalancing. Now, in the office, I would say 75% of the people come in on taking a capsule, usually a finasteride or even Avodart, and for multiple years, 5, 10, 15 years, they would not come to the office taking that capsule every day if it worked. It does not work, it never has worked, and it never will work, based on scientific principles that are explained within the Part 2 assessment.
Well, at the end of this YouTube video, I'm going to put up some links so people can go to the research behind your program, and so they can dig a little deeper to get some factual information about what Stop and Regrow is all about, and how it's not the finasteride repackage program. It's not anything to do with what's currently available at GNC or what you're seeing on whatever. It's not available anywhere else. And Dr. Ray, thank you so much for your time. StopandRegrow.com. Go get your biochemical report card results, and get busy. And if you don't put the work in, guess what? you're only going to get half the reward. So, doctor, thanks for your time, and I look forward to speaking with you next week on ingredients for a better life. Take care of yourself. Godspeed, my friend.
You got it, Jay. Thanks for having me on. Have a great
As
day.
always, love you. Take care, Doc.